PFT preseason power rank. The Seattle Seahawks and New England Patriots are the only two teams in the NFL to have won at least one playoff game in each of the last 5 seasons. The Seahawks had few departures from last year's roster that lost in the divisional round to the Atlanta Falcons. They've added an 11-man draft class and augmented the roster with a few free agent signings that addressed a few areas of concern over the offseason. Seattle's roster remains the most talented in the NFC West. An offseason dominated by trade discussions involving star cornerback Richard Sherman has left an uncertainty regarding the cohesion of the locker room after Sherman's multiple tirades and criticism of coaches last season. And for all the downplaying of the trade discussion Seattle wants to espouse now, NFL teams don't look to trade all-pro cornerbacks in their prime, with a reasonable contract and depth issues at the position for no reason at all. And the Seahawks practically hung a for-sale sign on Sherman in letting teams know publicly they were taking calls regarding Sherman's availability. Can the Seahawks still win the division and make a deep playoff run despite any potential lingering issues? Of course, they managed to win the division again last year in the midst of all the happenings with Sherman. But if the gremlins of last season carry over into 2017, there is potential for a crash landing. Even if they do, the Seahawks may be talented enough to win the division again anyway. Biggest positive change with the selection of 4 defensive backs among their 11 draft picks in the NFL draft, the Seahawks infused youth into their secondary depth. The additions of Shaquille Griffin, Tedrick Thompson, Delano Hill, and Mike Tyson give the Seahawks young depth that can contribute immediately on special teams and push starters Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor for playing time in the coming years. Griffin could earn a starting role opposite Sherman as Deshaun Shedd is likely to start the year on PUP and Jeremy Lane has been better served as a slot cornerback during his tenure in Seattle. The rest of the group provides potentially more stable options as backups should a player of Thomas' caliber be lost for the season again as he was last December. The drop in ability from Thomas to back up Stephen Terrell was substantial and significantly lessened Seattle's defensive might. Biggest negative change. While Stephen Hauschka had some issues in Seattle last year, the Seahawks now seem destined to be relying upon a career resurgence from Blair Walsh, who helped the Seahawks win a playoff game in Minnesota 2 years ago by missing a 27-yard field goal at the end of regulation for the Vikings. Now joins the Seahawks in an effort to get his career back on track. Walsh was released by the Vikings last year 9 games into the season after missing 8 field goals, 4 extra points of his 35 kicks on the year. Hauschka had a problem with low kicks as